Kuzuzampo, you are watching Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program with me, Sunampem. Our top stories. His Holiness the Jikempo arrived in Punakha, the central monastic body's winter residence. Prime Minister Tsering Tobgay received the German Sustainability Award 2016. And chili price doubles in Thimphu following the import ban in July. Led by His Holiness the Jekempo, the central monastic body arrived at Puna Devi Chembi Phoda in Punakha. His Holiness the Jekempo and the monk body spent a night at Thinegalhakha and continued their journey to Punakha the next day. The central monastic body will stay in Punakha for the next 6 months. Thousands of people lined up along the way to receive blessings. Prime Minister Tsering Tobgay received the German Sustainability Award 2016 for his outstanding contributions in promoting sustainability. The award was given at an event in Germany. The German Sustainability Award is to inspire decision makers to advocate for ecological and social sustainability. Hike in the price of chili following its import ban is taking a toll on the pockets of consumers in Thimphu. Moreover, with winter approaching, they fear the market will soon run out of chili stock. The average price of chili at the Centenary Farmers Market has increased more than double the usual price, and among the consumers, it is the people falling in the lower income bracket bearing the brunt of this increase. Chili, the most commonly used spice in the Bhutanese kitchens, is sold at as high as 300 to 400 Newton per kilogram.
If the price of chilies goes on increasing like this, it is going to affect people like us who don't earn much. And with winter season already round the corner, the situation will only get worse as people don't grow chilies in winter. The increase in the price of chilies is surprisingly high. When we used to import chilies, the price of local chilies wasn't this high. But after the ban on imported chilies, it is as if our Bhutanese people robbing one another.
It's really expensive. Instead of buying chilies, I rather buy meat as it is comparatively cheaper. For people earning less, it's a pocket burner.
Local vegetable vendors say farmers charge up to 4,500 Newton for a sack of chili, which roughly weighs 20 kilograms.
To buy chilies from our farmers, we either have to hire vehicles ourselves or take our own. So including transport and other related costs, the expenditure is over 5,000 Newton per sack. We don't have any other alternative than to charge 300 to 400 per kilogram of chili.
The Bhutan Agriculture and Food Regulatory Authority banned the import of chili since July this year. Tests found imported chilies contained pesticides harmful for human consumption. Phupkem and Sunampem for BBS News. The Department of Agriculture is now exploring new market in India to import chili for winter consumption by mid-December. The import of chili was banned in July this year after pesticides beyond permissible limit was found in it.
With local chili season coming to an end, the market is already running short of chili stock. The National Vegetable Program Coordinator Namgetile said the government cannot lift the ban on import of chili as the test carried out in October revealed that the content of harmful pesticides have not decreased. To meet the local demand, the Department of Agriculture will import chili from Sikkim and Darjeeling in India.
Meeting the domestic requirement from the country will be quite a difficult task. So, especially in the three extreme months, November, December, January and February, these 3 months we will be facing the chili shortage. So the ministry at a higher level discussed the issue, and now we are thinking of importing from other parts of India. Before doing the import, the ministry, the BAFRA under the ministry will do a thorough chemical analysis of the chilies grown in those areas, and if found chemical free, then we will start the import.
On an average, Bhutanese consume over 2,000 metric tons of imported chilies, that is about 200 truckloads in a year. Of the total import, some 150 truckloads are consumed in winter alone. The Bhutan Agriculture and Food Regulatory Authority banned the import of chili in July this year following a test revealing presence of pesticides harmful for human consumption. Hoop Game for BBS News.
Wild animals ravaging crops, labor and water shortage are blamed for not being able to produce winter vegetables on a commercial scale in Serbang. In an effort to achieve self-sufficiency, the winter vegetable production started in Serbang in 2012. But today, most of the farmers are into growing other cash crops.
Harka Badur Mahat from Dulungang grow winter vegetables, but it is an uphill task.
We have a problem of labor shortage. People out here are reluctant to work in the fields while venturing into large-scale farming. We are also not allowed to bring in foreign laborers. However, I manage with support from family members and my neighbors, but I have to pay them well.
It is already winter, but nothing looks promising.
Forget
about farming, we don't have enough water even for drinking purpose. And when the land is filled with stones, it is difficult to work without water. That's why we are not able to do much.
The main problem is the wild animals damaging crops. We are not able to harvest anything. Some have also left their land unused, covered with bush, making it a safe haven for wild animals, discouraging farmers from growing vegetables.
Heavy shower and pests damaged my seedlings.
The concern was also raised in the Dzongkak Tsokdu recently. Most of the farmers are into orange, cardamom and areca nut business because of better returns.
In winter, it is our responsibility of the southern districts to supply winter vegetables. Now, I am worried how we will be able to do so. This year, we distributed seeds worth 700,000 ngitam, and we also distributed additional seeds received from the ministry. But we cannot see anything in the fields, with farmers blaming rain and all. I would like some support from the local leaders.
Despite helping farmers with greenhouse, irrigation system, seeds and capacity building, not many are interested in vegetable production. The agriculture sector also distributed water tanks. Sarpang produced some 94 truckloads of vegetables last winter, but the number might go down this time. For Karma Wangdin Gilifu, Tandin Finso for BBS News.
Members of the opposition questioned the government on the plans they have for those who resigned to contest in the Thomde elections, which was deferred. In response, the Minister for Works and Human Settlement emphasized that they appreciate those who resigned from their jobs to participate in the elections and democracy. But she said no one would have forced them to resign.
South Thimphu MP Yishi Jimba raised concerns over those who have resigned to contest in the Thomde elections.
The Missy Catule Tap Module Shuila. Either Beru Jungi Catule, Tangachera, Zonka, Kechigi Tom da Yana Tom Desu, Tempochu, Yisu Bema Sobajin, Satim Chembugi Kondeni Gay easy. Dani Imole Tendebe, Nachera, the Missigi Tadin Lutadebe Karagi, Tinkus Topni Dendale, Tengachera na Chisonalu, Mambitule, Sogan Sukdibe, the Chajo Bedi is a Shunila. The Jungi Lale Gom Shude Bezatuna, Jamotuni Bemisue, Logranja, Lana Lutuni Inamena, the Tarina, Casabesuna, Shuni Karichela.
Minister for Works and Human Settlement said it is the duty of the government to declare the Thomde and said in the new democratic setup problems are anticipated.
Chala bomi mesi shunila, chala chungu memela, disugara zonga kechi da dewa yubigi la imbe, gilalu da konragi, tomde tsogde nalu, jama toni be te konragi gomjuju imela. 때 디수디 나라 하툴리 디디 담세미 녜랑 보미 세슈닐 공기기 망조기 람루디 레짐베 하 고디기베 때 코라기 셰디 톤디기베 때 코라 곰주주 임베 세슈닐 아주주 가에 가게 때 반치 온치 톤디 주주 미웅 세슈니.
In August this year, the Supreme Court issued a writ to the Election Commission to defer the Thomde elections in 16 Dzongkhag. The reason was the Local Government Act and the Constitution contradicts each other.
ngachirgi chatim chemilgi chachen nyernibigi tenchen chubada thiwojin da ngachirgi zongkha chodu nalu thumi chompen kego masi thumi dün nyusho mashu bochin chusam kego se dula chaktu bego se sani jung chatim ding ngachirgi debigi jungi kabl ngachi chajun anami suni ani nalu gadwe chudi biuse wojin da thumi te du nyusho dün sewdalu
It is still uncertain when the Thomde elections would be held. Sringzam, BBS News.
How is Rural Enterprise Development Corporation different from the erstwhile Business Opportunity and Information Center? The legality of the new enterprise was once again questioned in the National Assembly.
The opposition questioned as to why Business Opportunity and Information Center was shut down if it was legal as stated by the government. Rural Enterprise Development Corporation Limited was established in place of BOIC, which according to the opposition is an enterprise with a different name but with the same objectives.
beudel tam madu themle tendi gibe ta telenga chegi tongse konpel tele jin ji chu bebu insi shuni la ta tongse thonle konpel ejin se zogumi migul ngombadira ta ngachergi thondel kokab da dadendigi te ngachergi la bedigi be te legul te mahizeb chichu te tele layu namsmi te pinchu masi digi penjul lesha pentoble tendi gi bomber pentoble tendi gibe digi ladi ngachegi te nalfakak bedi shani membership trotidira.
But Shimgang MP Dojuwandi said BOIC was deemed illegal on the basis that donor funds were used as management fund, it did not have a financial license to give out loans, and the employees were not recruited as per Royal Civil Service Commission regulations.
Mingdi sodap mam te shemidi sudi ani chakinji sudila te kanaya maso zumbera soi shunila jinjungge zedunjin dilere tabdu me te shemide midi sun suktangdin ngima zumbera imbe te irumiruti choktamgi te가 heb달로 당샤 뉴스 게싱윌리 와진 카틀레 choktamdi nani insi 송대세 ngachlo 년슈지 피 te diwachi 아니 choktamdi 톱지가시 ta misi maashugira ngimagi khongi shuizi su sakdi yumidila 송게 고갑다 다딘 때와나 sakdi yumidi 다니 디수 다 록디 초티비가 되베 난도가세 te legil disu pimi disu da gosude가시 다니 디와니 인시슌일라
choktamdi te 톱지 이세 슌일라 choktam 톱디기베 te ngachigi te 동습 송레 공배 레전디 te 시속대베 투투비 이세 슌일라 te 지디 te ngachigi 도람 토미기 날에 te ngachigi 진종 망길로 땅더비기 te 팀길기베 다도 숨라메메 다 진종기 망길디 도람 토미날에 땅디 닌 고네 땅디 다도에 땅디 다니 버들로 티다 총총레 고갑다 다든 대원으로 진종기 망길디 도람 토미날에 땀달들이 te namsameji dinangaregi de namsame tab maduchi te maje.
Since the establishment of REDCL in May this year, the enterprise has approved 236 projects and a total of 256 million Neutrum was given as loan. Kiliangdan for BBS News.
The Special Committee for Education of the National Council reported there is disparity in distribution of budgetary support and resources to schools in the country. The committee also pointed out there must be certain bases to be considered to promote fair and equitable allocation of budget and resources.
The Special Committee for Education said the higher secondary schools have their own separate budget allocations, but the budgets for primary schools are allocated, clubbed with respective Dzongkhag budgets.
lobra chungwa lesha yebal tindigi lobra chungwa nando khora ipchi zongkhaglu tendurgi tholebe da phale tiru thopnigi handebe tiru malambe kangel handebe she image unila lobra chungwa nalo lotu ipchi lo ngada dule yate homela alu chungu pina mela alu chungu pha yebdalu alu chungu dhansta mela yer gebas analu gobe shunela chapsaji biru khongi lejimbi dazen soso be gobela ta analu shungi honle charngil mebalu tindi gibe pa lobra chungagi khale pha chada chami chamchami dele alu chungu chesobeki chapsa dazen bemigi pa lejeb chapte pime lejeb meba beshinale ro lobra chungwa disu jinjong ba disu damsem nando de du shunela.
The distribution of recurrent budget was also found unequal among the middle secondary schools. The committee compared Marsala Middle Secondary School in Samrup Jonkar and Kanku Middle Secondary School in Paro. In 2014, the budget share of each student in Marsala Middle Secondary School was 6,780 Newton, while for Kanku Middle Secondary School it was 28,078 Newton.
Nikton changagi lolu berula ta pa Marsala bewachin alu rerilu jinjungi mangildi tonta nga haksamji thobdalu Kanku lotu rerilu tonta sumchu 하나님 톱민디 달로브라치 나래 담과자비 재미로 가다 멤버 배신날래 중앙 혼랑 같이 차ring일 고템 배달루 파 로브라 칼루 로투 가디지 예빈나 산에 내던 가디비 예빈나 팔로 개코 가디비 예빈나 디수 가라 지 팝신날래 같이 기다 리소스 엘로케이션 포뮬라 좀 베르 주니멜 디날래 안주메도 스쿨 기로 로브라 칼레 파 만용 고템 배달루 로투디 가디지 두가 아니디 개체에서 로투 다틴딘비기 löbe palu kojabe de dindimbe charngil disuya kotambenni de geche junela.
The committee also recommended instituting a system to formulate separate budgets for primary schools rather than consolidating with the Dzongkhag's budget. The House will deliberate on the issues on Monday. Sringda Magyarson, BBS News.
The National Council recommends the government to look into the fee structure and other operational aspects of private schools. The Special Committee for Education of the House found there is no comprehensive government policy to govern specially the operational aspects of private schools.
The committee report says there is a guidelines for private schools of Bhutan 2012, but the basis for fee structures are being left at the discretion of the proprietor.
Gergilobda tumis kaara ta chonjurlu yasab zumberanga ragi tibe jeis shunbila ta aniche te majita gergilobda kadebi tudi besa chiru te onsedi jungi oludula te jungi khatole bere te ta gergilobda nalo tudi su kadebe yasin bebe odale te tinal ta jipchi kadebe zedoga sala chi ta nahi zumchi bere yipchi gergilobda mahedep chikira te tudi su borchito to bere yarsin beila ta tichue te rangi kodo zumchi be wajin jungi khatole ta
Many members of the council also raised their concerns over private schools recruiting untrained teachers.
Gerdenalu yubiki lobesu the ranginebe tawachindi manshora the jondar memi chansara the tom imesunila the darenabagi dilu hodalu ngachi nyoma bewachindi the gerdenalu lobe manshora jondar sauchi majara jungi lobranalu ra malamle tendegi be manshora de ngajigi lobesu jungi lobranalu tamila maji lobe the lotulu te pesatan tenni de gage tensula te chotame si gage tensula imdalu jondar di sosobebio de ngajigi jonda yumigi lobida de jondar mabimigi barnade atchi kheba yura yu sunila
gergi lobdra mashochi kati thommo sewachin te na thimpu punsling paro anzume chomcha snala pha thomime te ngachera jungi khatule lobdra thep chamasun digila chomkhala pha te lobdra thep chamasuble ten te pham titsugi besuru masuru te gerna chup ime se shuni jungi khatule te jungi lobdra nalo chashumi gi lebeda gergi lobdra nalo chashumi lebe nisharolu jondar di matutu be nangob do se shunila
jungi lobdra na bewachin lebe pisachim be namseme lalen thakko be gerdi gi lobdra na bewachin te tata lebe de su class chungi to asochin te tinalo leme bodalo digita madu chi ngara gi tebe jei se shundi be te ta tinalo gerdi gi lobdra su gi ta tebe lengomi de chi kajim sochin lebe gi ngpodi te legitimate ni nyamseume se shunila.
The recommendations will be discussed again to be finalized. Sringzam, BBS News.
Social and Cultural Affairs Committee of the National Council recommends more advocacy efforts to combat rising number of teenage pregnancies and sexual abuse. The committee report says over 3,300 girls below the age of 16 gave birth as per the National Statistical Bureau Report 2015.
The committee report says RENEW, a civil society organization which provides assistance to victims of gender-based violence, records many teenage pregnancy and sexual harassment cases. Renew recorded over 260 cases of teenage pregnancy since 2009.
Dizumig monshora tabmedu di ngacharagi dongsep nali phai me seshunila rural location gi the chip di te namisame digi khonagi da shin jani gi de dinalu de khonagi membaleten de da kokap membaleten digi be chip ime seshunila dele sumba saudalu de ngacharagi da pham disugi lejume da labjada de lamtin disu maybe gi de many digi dizumigi kangil them ime seshunila.
Some members said teenage pregnancy and abortion is a growing concern in the country. Committee members said health authorities viewed that reporting teenage pregnancies could result in low health checkups and illegal abortions. According to Health Ministry, over 1,550 abortion cases, including premature deaths and miscarriages, were reported last year.
Abortion be mi di khatile be umala. Du ge khapna abortion be sa sagu mi seshunila. Chimgeli di. Ma jaga gi sansam chikhale ba jume denale mepta shimda lugdi ngacharegi men khana ongop then men chedi ngacharegi nongkhino be be odolu jatam modula me same bom kesa bom ke di sushunila goda chapel di gade dada gade mama tani di nam same khache jongsep igo nale pha digi netang digi tap madu digi damchi digi debe asop dochi bochin digi bjem gade be pomega digi tim gade be yoga desu lejimbe mashiwa yebigi 소능칭 알로에 대비 주민면서 슈니라
딩아 저기 고와 다트스 랍당아 저기 TV기 톨레 참치 배급 좀 커미티 조데베 롭다나 참치 배급 좀 배면 마시나 고와 다트디 라랑 사라기 자사기 나나롱아 저기 고와 다트 배고벨라 ngacha pham riri genko bagdebe ngachire gi alo summiru niru jeru te danjibeni genko khun lodiya lo che pipi bana genko di ngachare ba chawajin ngachi gi khapki tezumgi kangedi donlendi lejumbe se subsessionela.
The recommendations will be discussed again to be finalized and submitted to the government. Sringzam, BBS News.
Some of the local leaders in Paro are confused as to why they are not allowed to recruit Gedrung or clerks. They said it is not a new post and all other Gewok offices still have Gedrung. After Serbang, now it is the local leaders in Paro who are affected by the vacant Gedrung's post. 4 Gewok in Paro do not have Gedrung after they left office a few months ago. Our reporter in Paro, Yishigelson, sent us this report.
Lamgo, Sento, Luni and Hongrel Gewok are without a Gedrung for the past 2 or 3 months. When the issue of doing away with the post of Gedrung surfaced, Gedrung in these offices quit the job to look for opportunities elsewhere. And in absence of Gedrung, they are not able to provide efficient and timely service to the people.
The land tax for last year is still to be collected in Lango Geok, and now it is almost time to collect tax and insurance payments for this year as well.
The Geok administrative officer has his own duties and the GUP has his own responsibilities of dealing with the people and carrying out other duties.
You have to provide our services to the public, and without a Gedung, it is difficult to attend to paperworks, which is usually done by Gedung.
Sento GUP said they were told to recruit Gedung about 3 weeks ago by the Department of Local Governance.
We got around 6 applicants. We were going to take the interview on the 15th of this month, but then I got a call from the director asking me to hold it for a few days.
The Department of Local Governance sent this letter to all 20 Dzongkhag in August this year. It says the Department of Local Governance would like to request all Dzongda to instruct the Gewok administrations to keep the recruitment of Gedung in abeyance until further notice from the Home Ministry, since the ministry is still in the process of discussion with the Royal Civil Service Commission regarding the retention of the Gedung's post. The Department of Local Governance is planning to include the Gedung's post in the civil service and said the proposal is currently being reviewed by the government. Since 2011, Gedung or clerks have been recruited on a contract basis without any involvement of the Royal Civil Service Commission. For Yishigelson in Paro, Trinzam, BBS News.
When we think of air pollution, the only thing that comes to our mind is factories and cars burning fossil fuels. Many think wood burning is better because it is a renewable resource. But experts say wood burning can also have negative impacts. Our reporter Sujaman Thapa filed in this story, which talks about something called indoor pollution.
It is 6:30 in the evening in Ryotala in Tongsa, and 60-year-old Sange is ready to prepare dinner. Being remote, there is no electricity or road. The closest shop is about 4 hours walk from here, and using LPG cylinders is out of question. The 3 households here use firewood for cooking and heating purposes. Rubbing her eyes in the smoke, Sange cook in traditional stove. World Health Organization says such practice produce high levels of household air pollution, which includes a high range of health-damaging pollutants such as fine particles and carbon monoxide. Exposure is particularly high among women and children who spend most of their time near the hearth.
I think it's all because of the smoke. Now at this age, I cannot even recognize people properly. My kids also had some breathing difficulties in the past. When I went to hospital once, doctor told me that I was suffering from tuberculosis.
When we are exposed to smoke, our eyes get irritated and we often suffer from breathing difficulties. That's why I've sent my kids away. My kids are just 7 and 9 years old. They are in Bhutan and Thimphu now. We send them away thinking that they will suffer like us in the future if they stay here.
We don't have power. We have to use firewood to cook, so smoke will be there. Even I'm suffering from asthma, but we have no option. Doctors have advised me not to stay near the fire, but I can't since there is no one at home.
According to WHO, millions die every year around the world from the exposure to household air pollution.
There are a lot of studies where they have said that this indoor air pollutions can not only cause eye irritation, but respiratory diseases such as asthma can be induced, right? And then other long-term or chronic respiratory diseases can actually be induced by even in the long-term exposure to indoor house pollution. And then I think also some sort of cancers are also reported because of the long-term exposure, like solid fuel burning.
But for people in remote Bhutan, they have no option. For Surjaman Thapa in Tongsa, Tamchuzam, BBS News.
Well, that's all we have for you this week. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.